Greg Burke, who's also in Rome this morning. Thanks for joining us again, Greg. And let's begin with more on the Pope's health. We learned about that operation on his pacemaker a few months back, and that the resignation had been in the works for some time. What more can you tell us about the Pope's health right now?
Well, the Pope's health right now is basically what you see, and we'll see him again tomorrow. It's of an 85-year-old who's almost 86, who's starting to slow. Essentially, he does have that heart condition, and that wasn't the reason, obviously, for the resignation. However, people have pacemaker batteries replaced all the time. That does happen. But essentially, it's of age, you know, that his mind is obviously clear. We saw him talk a couple nights ago off the cuff. He was very, very clear, but it's more in mobility and slowing down a bit, but nothing immediate. There have been rumors of bone cancer as well. That's certainly not true. Nothing immediate, but just age catching up with him.
The Pope will be living in the Vatican. He'll no longer be Pope. He says he's going to go back to being a cardinal, take his old name, Joseph Ratzinger. Will he be able to counsel the next Pope?
Well, if the next Pope would like it, I'm sure he could. However, if, you know, some people have suggested, hey, wait a minute, you're going to have two popes at work. No, that's not true. The Pope is retiring because he wants to retire. If he wanted to have influence on the church still, he would stay as Pope. So I would expect very much. The fact that he's going to a monastery, will be living in a monastery, is significant. He wants a quiet life of study and of prayer. I assume that if the new Pope wants to ask his counsel, he's clearly going to give it, but he's not going to be there looking to try to influence the next Pope.
And the Cardinals would be meeting right after the Pope resigns on February 28th at 8 p.m. Will the deliberations about the next Pope begin immediately?
They could begin. We'll find out that in the next few days. They could technically begin as early as the day after, as early as March 1st. But you have to remember that it's never the conclave which begins initially. First, they have what are called general congregation, where all the cardinals gather to talk about the main issues in the church, even those over the age of 80. So even those who won't be going into the eventual conclave. So first, there's several days of general meetings of all the cardinals. They could start as early as March 1st, but that hasn't been decided yet.
Odds makers already hard at work. Do we know if Pope Benedict has a favorite?
It would be hard to tell that Pope Benedict has a favorite. You can look at the men he chose, and obviously I think each one of those, the College of Cardinals is made up of cardinals made by Pope Benedict and John Paul II. You can see through the men Pope Benedict chose that he obviously favors for different reasons. However, I don't think he has a favorite, and he's certainly not going to show that he has a favorite in these days.
Okay, Greg Burke, thanks very much for your insight.